it might make you mad. You might disagree with what I say, but well, that's tough cookies, right? I I th- uh, I base again. I'm 50 years old. Okay, so I base my opinion on quite a bit of knowledge, and a lot. I'll just say a lot of guys who are my age, they have and most of them have a fake job of some sort. The degree of fakeness degrees varies, right? Some of it, like some of it's a 40-hour job where you do almost 40 hours of work. Some of them jobs are 40-hour jobs where you do 4 hours of work, right? But they get paid for 40 hours. But a lot of people in my demographic won't speak up. They know the evils of the world, but they won't speak up because part of the rules of having a fake job is to not complain about things, right? But I've never had the privilege of having a fake job, so I can go on YouTube and I can speak my mind. I can point out things like the average worker only works half the time at their job. That's the average. So 50% of people with jobs watching this are getting paid like super universal basic income, like at a rate much higher than universal basic income. And that's why a lot of people are against universal basic income, is because it means they won't get as much free money right now, right? That explains why people with fake jobs uh, don't like don't see the benefit of universal basic income. And a lot of people, and this is it's kind of sad. A lot of people live their life this way. Like there might be someone listening to this, but it's true. Um, a lot of people would rather everyone else suffer and have to do a fake job like themselves if they have to do it themselves. That's their logic. If I have to do this fake job to get money, so must everyone else. Okay? And I got news for you. Um, that is a very, very, like, that is bad. That way of thinking is so bad that I like, there's two major errors with thinking that way. First off, it's just selfish and inconsiderate of others. But the other thing is, how important is your job really? If the average person only works half the time at their job, that means we could lay off half, you know, the world and still maintain the same quality of work so long as everyone worked the full day at their job. Now, if you're watching the series, you know by now that if things don't get built, like if you don't get things done and it's not producing actual stuff of usefulness, there is no room for fake jobs. So, this belief that fake jobs need to be created is an economic disaster waiting to happen. Like, if you think about it, imagine there's two countries, one of them that believes in fake jobs and the other that does not, that just believes on pure productivity. They'd use robots to do everything and give everyone UBI. Okay, a society of robots and UBI versus fake jobs. Which one exists in the future? Which military is going to be more powerful? Which one's going to be more influential? The one that is far more productive, or the one that's just fake jobs, digging ditches and filling them in, achieving nothing? Which nation exists in the end? And that's why you can't uh, condone fake jobs. You will cause the nation to collapse. It is you'll go over the fiscal cliff, and as we can see, that's exactly what's happened in the U.S. There's, there's too many people who don't really understand economics. So, um, yeah, economics, again, I've said this so many times, but if you haven't been watching the series, it's efficiency times scale. How efficient are you with your resources, and how at what scale? And scale is measured by intelligence, um, work ethic, uh, distances, like geometries. Geometry is a big thing. It's a You don't want to be like if this city here in this game was way, way, way further from the border, it would be less efficient, right? And then the scale of other things would be an issue too, right? Because we get all our resources and our workers from the border. So uh, it's imperative to understand that there's a difference between working and productivity. They're two different things. These are things that when I was younger, I never understood. That even my early 40s, I just never understood the difference. No one really broke down that working, uh, uh, jobs and working does not equate productivity. Machines, if you can sit down for 5 years, develop a machine that automates your job for the rest of your life, even if you sit around and play video games for the rest of your life, you're just as productive as someone who worked that whole time, and you're entitled to the same pay, frankly. And but you get to play video games, right? Um, but there's again, I specialize in automation as an engineer uh, when I was in school, and I've the people that fund these things that were the vast majority were resistant to my skills, the vast majority, because they subscribe to the doctrine of fake jobs. Fake jobs, everything's just a show. Just give someone a job and pretend. Their philosophy is give them a fake job so that the people doing the real jobs uh, don't feel as demotivated, right? Here's a better solution: pay the people doing the real jobs more money, and uh, you know the people not doing anything productive, train them to be productive. There's an idea. That's real. That's a society that will survive, not one that will uh, lose out.